Welcome to part 2 of our recent reading on Blueface and Chrisean. As a disclaimer, this reading is for educational and entertainment purposes, an interpretation of an astrological chart for a situation. So, according to our reading in part 1, there appears to be good things coming her way, but is the negativity truly over? We did see her moving on from major relationship issues, and a relationship itself. This is shown by Venus separating from Saturn, this aspect showing love leaving Chrisean, and Saturn separating from the 7th house cusp, again showing what we see in real life, Chrisean leaving a relationship. So major relationship issues she is moving away from, but is there anything else? The Sun square Saturn in this chart did show an ongoing or upcoming obstacle for Chrisean, at the time this chart was made, in May. The Sun is joined to the sad, fixed star, Alcyone, which tends to show a person in a situation sad enough to cause them to weep. We're not exactly sure what it means, but with the Sun in the 5th house of children, this is most likely fear and anxieties towards the father figure of the child. The negativity doesn't seem completely behind her, yet. Speaking of Blueface, we look at the other co-star next, lingering more in the shadows concerning Chrisean, and distancing himself away from her. Blueface in this chart is the Moon in Gemini. Once again, the mentally back and forth sign of Gemini appears for him again, and verbal, Mercury energy. As the Moon, he is almost the weakest planet in this chart. He doesn't seem to be doing too well currently or working in his best interest. In this chart, his planet is in the 12th house from the 7th house of relationships. This shows what we know and have seen in reality and previous charts, his harmful energy towards the relationship with Chrisean. Venus is in the 7th house, having the negative indication for relationships Lovelxce has mentioned many times before. For these type of charts we make a negative indication some might not expect. This tends to show the desired party has another lover, and one that is seriously invested, a certain threat. On Twitter, he implied he is non-monogamous. Having one girl is too close to having no girls. I hate when I see my type walk in cause I was just playing it cool. Now I'm ready to risk it. Earlier in May, he retweeted an old tweet from January announcing he and Rock were done. Venus trine Saturn in this chart that was made on May 20th, showed a breakup likely happening, about 9 days before the chart was made. Blueface made this retweet 11 days before the chart was made. Saturn separating from the 7th house by a little under 4 degrees, showed Chrisean had likely been distancing herself from Blueface the past 4 months. This aligns with Blueface initially tweeting their breakup, in January, as above, so below. He was also hyping up his baby mama Jaidyn on Twitter, which no recent ex-girlfriend wants to see, saying how she was undefeated, and other hurtful comments about Chrisean. Just as his negative representation as a negative moon in Gemini would imply, he causes destruction emotionally with his harmful words. So, why did they break up? This will be shown by Venus. One reason is the child-to-be, shown by Venus ruling the 5th house. The second is other women, shown by Venus in the 7th house, and Venus not representing Chrisean. Blueface planet, the Moon, has a strong positive feeling to Venus, so he would entertain another person. Another woman is in love with him, and this is Jaidyn, the mother of Blueface's 2 children. When we originally made this chart, it wasn't confirmed in real life, but it is now.
What's y'all actual relationship status?
We fucking. I don't care, we fucking.
We saw him ending up with another woman back in May, and soon. The Moon's shadow placement, a hidden placement, is 11 degrees Cancer. With Venus at 14 degrees Cancer, we saw Blueface possibly starting a relationship with someone other than Chrisean. Other than that, the Moon isn't doing much in this chart, another indication of him being more in the background in Chrisean's life. And now, for our conclusion. As a reminder, this chart was cast back in May. Back then, the degrees of the 1st and 7th house being under 3 degrees, said this was still a new and developing situation. It was too early to make a final conclusion. The cardinal signs on the angles being the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th houses, said this was a rapidly changing situation, and everything could be very different in the next month. In June, Blueface started promoting Jaidyn Alexis as a rapper, as if she is an artist signed to him, boldly claiming her as his woman, and making it look like he is all about taking care of his family with her now. Blueface and Chrisean's planets, the Moon and Saturn, aren't interacting. They currently aren't involved with each other. Time will tell how things play out, with the child on the way, but we can conclude that they are done with each other romantically, for now, even though the season 2 of their show Crazy in Love is coming out soon. We don't think we're done talking about them. Scandalous negativity from Blueface continues to brew. In a video, after a date with Jaidyn, he talks about adopting Chrisean's child with her. We may turn our eye to Blueface and Jaidyn, and see what the stars say for them. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.